Let's now build a web page right from the scratch. Obviously you will have to install the Prestashop first. That's what I've done, and the very first thing I would like to do is to adjust some of the settings of my back office, and to do that I'll go into the preferences. In the preferences, the very first option that I will change is the main shop activity. So my web page is going to be selling some clothing, and therefore I'm going to choose fashion and accessories. Everything else here I will leave as it is and hit on the save button. Alright, I'll move into the orders now, and in the orders, well, first thing I would like to do is set up the order process. Instead of the 5-step which is standard, I'll go to one-page checkout. Also here you can change the terms of services, whether or not to have them at all, and which page to actually display when the terms of services link is actually clicked. But the default it's actually the terms and conditions of use, so I'll leave that as it is. And because I've changed this option here, I'm going to hit on the save button. Then I'll move a bit more down and I'll come to the gift options, and basically this is when your online store is offering gift wrapping, and let's say that my store actually has the gift wrapping, and I will click on yes, and the price I can include maybe 10 euros for wrapping, and for the tax I do not have any of the taxes yet, and whether or not to offer recycled packaging. Okay, so hit on this save button here as well. So once again, make sure that after you finish with each section, so there's two sections here, there's the general section and the gift option, you actually hit on that save button for that particular section. Otherwise, if you just made some changes, for example in the general section and in the gift option section, and you just hit on this save button here, the above changes will not actually be changed. Okay, let's move into the products now. Okay, under the general, basically you can have the catalog mode or no. Comparison, this is how many items, how many products the visitors or the customers can actually compare, and maybe I've put 4 here. Number of days for which the product is considered to be new, 1 is okay. Redirect after adding product to the cart summary, which is okay. Maximum of short description, if you leave it to 0 characters, it means it has no actual limiting size. Okay, so quantity discount based on products or combinations, let's leave it as products. Force update, and let's hit on save once again. Okay, once you get the message like this, the settings have been updated successfully, you can actually move down, and the second section here is actually to do with the products on the page. So basically, how many products would you like to be displayed per page? I'm going to change this to maybe 10. The order in which they are going to be displayed, so position inside a category, I'll leave it as it is, or you can just select any of the available options. There's a product name, product price, product add date, so when you actually added the product, so first the latest products will be displayed first. Product modified date, manufacturer, product quantity, and product reference. So maybe if you're looking to sell a particular manufacturer, maybe you can have that default order method manufacturer, but for my case I'm just going to use position inside a category. Okay, I'll hit on the save button once again, and this sometimes can be annoying, hitting on each save button, but you have to make sure that you actually do hit on that save button for that particular section. Okay, product page. Display available quantities on the page, yes. Display remaining quantities when the quantity is lower than, I'm going to say 5, sorry. So it's going to display any number lower than 5. So if I have 4 for example t-shirts, it's going to display there is only 4 t-shirts available. The rest of the settings I'm going to leave as it is, and once again I'm going to hit on save. Moving a bit more down, we'll come to the product stock. Allow ordering out of stock products, so depends on what your business is doing and whether you would like or not to have this. You can actually choose this option or not. Enable stock management, yes. Enable advanced stock management, no, as this goes a bit beyond this course. New products use advanced stock management, and of course if you have the previous option set to no, it's strongly recommended that you do not change this one to yes and you leave it as no. I'm not going to hit on save button as I do not want to have this change saved. Okay, moving into the customers registration process, there is the default one is only account creation. I'm going to change to standard creation and address creation. So basically there is the account creation and there is going to be an address, which is the physical address of the customer, which is going to be linked to that particular account. Okay, phone number required, I'll say yes. Card redisplay at login, no. Send email after the registration, yes. And then there's the generate password, all is good. Let's hit on save. Moving into themes, I'm going to use the theme that I currently have, and I'm not going to change that as well, but just so that you know, you can actually change the theme from this option here. Next thing, I'm going to go into the CMS, and basically if you move a bit more down, this is all the pages that you currently have on your Prestashop, and there's the terms and conditions of use, which I mentioned just before, and you can edit that right from here. You hit on the big edit button and it will open a new page where you can actually write, you know, terms and conditions of your use. Okay, so there it is. There's the category, so this is where it's going to be placed. So right at the top in home, there's the title, the description, there's some keywords and whatnot, and there's the whole content here. And basically you can enter even some images and some video clips here as well. Okay, so if you do not like, well, this is just a demo, so basically you would put your rules here and your terms and your conditions of use right here, and when the users actually click on this page will show up and all the information here will be presented to the customer. Now, would you like this to be indexed by the search engines? Basically the normal procedure is just saying no, because you don't want you know, each different pages got their own or similar terms and conditions of use, and basically it's pointless to actually have this in the search engines. Displayed, yes or no? Yes. Okay, after you're done with that, you can either preview the page or you can actually hit and save the changes. Alright, moving into the images now. I'm not going to change any of the terms and conditions. Basically this is by the default, and this is how big your images are. So for example, you can see that I have 80 pixels by 80 pixels and I have 250 by 250 pixels. So basically I'm going to leave everything as it is, and here you'll find where those images are available. So for example, in the product section I have the first 6 and then the last 3 are not in this section. You can edit this. Okay, so basically by clicking on the edit button, a new page will open for that particular size of the image or the type of the image, and here you can change the width, the height, whether or not this is in products, categories, manufacturers, suppliers, scenes or stores. Alright, so that's the very first option here at the images. Now we move a bit more down and we come to the image quality. So basically I would strongly suggest you use as by the default use JPEG, and then you come to the quality 90, PNG quality if you're using PNG of course, and then you have a couple of other options here as well, and basically you can set up this the way you want it, but this is actually set by the default. So the product picture width and the product picture height is set to 64, and the good thing is when you upload the photo, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it will actually be resized to this particular size. Of course, if you have an image which is, you know, very large, and when you shrink it, it will actually lose on the quality of the image itself, and the same would actually happen if the image is too small. But if you have images which are relatively close to this values, the image will actually be shrink down or actually made bigger, and there will be no loss in the quality, sorry. Okay, let's go into the store contacts now, and basically this is where you would enter the information about store contacts and contact details. Okay, so shop name, I'm going to call my shop. Shop email, store@myshop.com. Okay, and here you'll find a few more details which are not compulsory. So you have the first two fields, the name and the shop email are compulsory, and then you can set up your shop address and, you know, your country, state, phone number and whatnot. So I'll hit on save for now, and here I'm going to insert some new contacts. So to do that, I'll hit on this add new, and a new page where I will enter the contact information will show up. So let's go with John Smith. John Smith address is 123 My Street. He lives in Los Angeles. The country United States. State California. Alright, this is the geolocation and it's generated automatically. Then you can have the phone number, fax, then you have the email address, note, the status. Would you like to have the status or not? Yes. You can upload an image for that particular person. So for John, if you have a photo of John, you can enter it there as well. Okay. And after that, I'm going to hit on save. And there is John. Okay, so it's good to have store contacts, as many store contacts as possible, as you would actually use this as well. All right, there's some parameters here. Display in the footer, yes. Display in the sitemap, show simplified store locator, and there's the default latitude and longitude for the actual geolocation. All right, let's move into search now. And basically the only option that I would change here is, actually I'm not going to change anything here for now. I'll leave it as it is and I'll move into, let's have a look at the maintenance. Maintenance is probably just switched on, which is good. And let's go into geolocation. Okay, the option here, you can use the IP address to detect the geolocation of the customers. Whether or not you would like to use that, it's totally up to you. I'm going to say no. Now there's a couple of things I would like to change here. First of all, geolocation behavior for restricted countries. So if you have some restricted countries, what can they do? So they cannot see your catalog, or they can see your catalog but cannot place an order. I'll go with that. Geolocation behavior for other countries, I'll actually do exactly the same. So you have to actually register and actually become a customer in a way in order to actually place an order. And as for the visitors, they can actually see my catalog, so they can see what I'm selling, but they cannot place an order. Okay, so select the countries from which your store is accessible. I'm going to probably leave all of the countries. Well, the good thing is, because I'm mainly going to be selling to Australia, for example, the good idea is actually to maybe get rid of all of them and just select Australia. Okay. There it is, and save. Okay, moving all the way down, we'll come to the whitelist. We'll leave everything as it is. Okay, so this is the preferences. We have set up the preferences, and let's go now into the admin section.